This was a conference hosted by York University as the anchor partner in the Resource Nationalism in Southern Africa Partnership four-year project that was funded by the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada, involving partners and researchers in Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, looking at the question of resource nationalism. The aim of the conference was partly to showcase the findings of 4 years of research, but also to invite other researchers on resource nationalism in other parts of the Global South to participate in a discussion, a conversation, if you want, about recent research, development, innovations, and debates. A critical aim of this conference was to explore and put into conversation a variety of perspectives on resource nationalism in the last 20 years since the commodity supercycle of early 2000s. We sought to learn across the Global South from each other in terms of research, methodologies, approaches, ways of intervening and engaging with, supporting policy debates. And we also sought to cross-pollinate, if you want, amongst researchers within Africa, Latin America, South Asia, Southeast Asia, some of their key findings, approaches, understandings, and identification of innovations at the policy level. In the conference, we had a number of panels addressing the different kinds of issues which have arisen around resource nationalism and knowledge and research gaps, if you want, when it comes to policy. These included issues of state capacity, of transnational regulations and codes, residual power, the structural power of large-scale transnational mining companies, and issues of indigenous sovereignty, competing levels of sovereignty around resources, as well as other questions of ecological and environmental issues arising from extractivism. One of the aims of the conference was to advance global research around resource nationalism by addressing some research and knowledge gaps at the empirical level of what kinds of changes resource nationalist policy interventions have made and where trajectories of progress have actually been knocked off track. So it was important for us to share amongst different regions how the lifespan, if you want, of new thinking around resource nationalism and resource sovereignty played out. We've also hoped and aimed that the conference would lead to new paths or open new paths for collaboration amongst researchers in different regions, particularly in the context of a new project which we've just launched in February of this year around critical minerals in Africa and the global green transition. Again, a 6-year project that's been funded by the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada. Although that project is focused on Southern and Central Africa, we'll be looking to expand our linkages, research linkages, collaborative linkages with a host of researchers and institutions beyond Southern Africa as well. And finally, as a research conference, we expect that the papers and presentations and discussions we've had here at York in the past few weeks will lead to a range of publications and documents, policy briefs which will feed into national policy discussions, a working paper series from our own work in Southern Africa on the empirical findings from 4 years of research, and finally a larger edited monograph on global comparative perspectives on resource nationalism, which emerged in the course of the conference.